Hi everyone, I'm Helen, and I'm so happy you're here with us today. Take a deep breath, relax, and let's enjoy another soft English podcast together. But before we start, subscribe and like this episode so others can find it.
And I'm John. It's great to have you back with us. Today's episode is warm, slow, friendly, and very special. Because, Helen, we're talking about something exciting.
Yes, John. Something many people dream about. We're talking about traveling to New York City.
New York, the city of lights, movies, big buildings, and big dreams. But today, we won't talk like a guidebook. We talk like friends.
Exactly. Because traveling is not only about planes or hotels. It's about feelings, little moments, like when you close your suitcase and your heart goes boom boom a little faster.
Helen, that's so true. And I think New York is perfect for those emotions. Maybe we can start with the first small moment, the moment when someone decides to travel.
Oh, yes. That moment when you say to yourself, I think maybe I want to go to New York.
Let's help our listeners repeat that. Very slowly. Repeat after me. I want to go to New York.
Nice. Now say it again very softly. I want to go to New York.
Good job. Helen, what was the first thing you imagined when you thought about New York?
Honestly, John, the first thing I imagined was the sky, the tall buildings. When you walk in New York, you look up, and the sky feels small, like the buildings touch the clouds.
That's beautiful, Helen. Let's help our listeners say something simple. The buildings are tall.
Very slow. The buildings are tall.
Perfect. Now another sentence. I want to see New York.
Slowly. I want to see New York.
Nice. Now, Helen, maybe we can move to the next little moment. The moment when someone buys the ticket.
Ah, yes, that's emotional. Because when you buy the ticket, the dream becomes real.
Let's tell a simple story. A small story.
Okay, so imagine this. You sit on your sofa, you open your computer, you search flights to New York. You see a ticket. You look at the date. You think, maybe this is good.
You feel a mix of fear and excitement. You breathe, and then you click, buy.
And suddenly, John, your heart says, I'm going to New York.
Let's help our listeners say that. Repeat after me. I bought a ticket.
Very slow. I bought a ticket.
Now repeat. I'm going to New York.
Slowly. I'm going to New York.
Very good. Helen, I think the airport is also important. Many people feel nervous there.
Yes, John. The airport is a special place. You feel stress, excitement, tiredness, all at the same time.
Let's help with useful English. Repeat after me. Where is the gate?
Now, this is my boarding pass.
Great. Now, let's continue the story a little. Imagine you are at the airport, Helen. What do you feel?
I sit near the window. I look at the planes. I drink a coffee. And I think about New York and everything I want to see.
Yes. And then the voice says, boarding for New York. Now.
Your heart says, this is it. You stand up, you walk to the gate, you enter the plane, you find your seat, you smile.
Let's help our listeners repeat a phrase. I'm really doing this.
Slowly, I'm really doing this.
Good. And now, the arrival.
Ah, yes, the moment when the plane goes down and you see New York from the window. John, it feels like a movie.
Yes, Helen. Let's help listeners repeat. I see the city.
Very slow. I see the city.
Now, New York looks beautiful.
Good job. Now imagine you arrive, you get your suitcase, you walk outside, and the air feels different.
Yes, the air says, welcome.
John, I love that because it's true. New York feels alive even when you're tired.
Now, imagine you take a taxi or a bus, and the city gets closer.
Let's help listeners repeat. I'm in New York.
If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe and like it so others can find it.
Okay, John, in the last part, we arrived in New York. We felt the air, we saw the lights, and we said, wow.
Yes, Helen. And now, it's time for the next step. The moment when you enter the city for the first time. The moment when you start living New York.
That moment is special. Maybe you sit in a taxi. Maybe you look out the window, and suddenly you see your first real New York street.
Yes, the yellow taxis, the people walking fast, the lights, the noise, the buildings. It's a lot, but it's beautiful.
John, let's help our listeners with a simple phrase. I see the street.
Now, slowly. Repeat. The street is busy.
Good. And yes, New York streets are busy, but they are also full of life. Sometimes when you arrive, you feel like the city is talking to you.
Helen, you're right. New York has a kind of energy. And even simple things feel special. For example, going to your hotel.
Yes, you arrive, you give your name, you say, "Hello, I have a reservation." The person smiles, you get your key or your card, and then you go to your room.
Let's help our listeners practice. Repeat after me. I have a reservation.
Slowly. I need my room key.
Perfect. Now, Helen, tell me, what do you usually do first when you enter a hotel room in a new city?
Oh, John, I always do the same thing. I put my suitcase on the floor, I open the curtains, and I look out the window. I want to see the city from my room.
Yes, I do the same. And when you see the view, you feel something inside your chest. A small happiness.
let's help our listeners say that. Repeat slowly. I like the view.
Now, another one. This is my room.
Good. Now, maybe we can talk about the first walk, because the first walk in New York is something you remember forever.
Yes. You leave the hotel, you walk outside, and the city feels big. Your eyes don't know where to look.
John, let's give our listeners a small picture. Imagine this. You open the door of your hotel, a soft wind touches your face, you hear cars, you hear people talking, you hear music from somewhere. You start walking, 1 step, 2 steps, and suddenly you see a street like you saw in movies.
Yes, and maybe you stop for a moment. You look around and you think, I'm really here.
Let's help them repeat that. Slowly. I'm really here.
Now, another. Everything looks new.
Beautiful. John, maybe now we can talk about the big places. Times Square, Central Park, the buildings.
Yes, but slowly, gently, because we don't want to list places. We want to talk like friends.
Of course. So let's start with Times Square, because many people go there first. John, what did you feel the first time you saw Times Square?
Helen, honestly, I felt surprise because it's so bright. So many colors, so many screens, so many people.
Yes, exactly. And everything is moving. Everything is changing. You look left, something is happening. You look right, something different is happening.
Let's help listeners say a simple phrase. Repeat after me. It's very bright.
Now, there are many people.
Good. Helen, maybe you can describe Times Square in simple words, like A1 English, but with feeling.
Okay, let me try. Times Square is big, it's loud, it's colorful, and it feels like the city is talking to you.
That was beautiful and simple. Learners will remember that.
Now, maybe we can walk to Central Park, because after so many noises, you need a quiet moment.
Yes, Helen. Central Park is calm and green. You walk, you breathe, you look at the trees, you hear birds, and suddenly the city feels far away.
Let's practice. The park is quiet.
And another, I like nature.
Beautiful. John, do you know what I love about Central Park?
What, Helen?
I love that people do everything there. They walk, they run, they sit, they talk, they play. The park feels alive, but quiet at the same time.
Yes. It's like a soft hug inside a loud city.
That's a beautiful way to say it, John.
Thank you, Helen. Now, maybe we can talk about food, because people always ask, what do I eat in New York?
Oh, yes. Food in New York is special. You can find everything: pizza, bagels, coffee, and all of it feels New York.
Let's help our listeners say, I want a coffee.
Or, I want a slice of pizza.
Nice. Helen, what was your first New York food experience?
Oh, John, my first New York moment was eating a hot dog on the street, not in a restaurant, just on the street. It felt like a movie.
Yes. And that's exactly what people love. Simple things, simple food, but a big feeling.
Let's help listeners repeat. This tastes good.
Now, another, I like this.
Great. John, maybe now we can talk about walking in the city at night, because New York at night is very different.
Yes, Helen. At night, the city is dark, but also bright, quiet, but also loud. It's a mix.
And when you walk at night, the lights feel bigger, the streets feel longer, and you feel small, but in a beautiful way.
Let's help listeners repeat. The city is beautiful at night.
And I like the lights.
Helen, I think our listeners can really imagine New York now.
Yes, John, we walked, we saw Times Square, we relaxed in Central Park, we ate pizza, we saw the lights.
Yes, Helen. But a trip is not only big places. A trip is also the little things you feel. Maybe something simple, but it stays with you.
Exactly. Like when you wake up in your hotel in the morning, you open the curtains and you see the city waking up too. You hear a car, you hear a voice, you hear the soft city sounds, and you think, this is a new day in New York.
Let's help listeners say that. Repeat after me. A new day in New York.
Slowly, I feel happy.
Good. Helen, what is one small moment you remember from New York?
John, one moment I remember very clearly was drinking coffee near a small window in a tiny cafe. Nothing big, nothing famous, just a coffee, a window, and the street outside. People walking, a taxi passing, a dog barking, and I felt like I was inside the city, not as a tourist, but like a real part of New York.
That's beautiful, Helen. Let's help our listeners repeat something simple, slowly. I am part of the city.
Now say, I like this moment.
Perfect. Now, maybe we can talk about walking without a plan. Because, Helen, I think New York is best when you just walk, without thinking too much.
Oh, yes. You walk, you look around, you turn left, you turn right, you stop, you look at a shop, you see a street musician, you see a man walking his dog, you see a child eating an ice cream, and every moment feels alive.
Let's help listeners say, I like walking.
And I see many things.
Good. Helen, do you remember the first time you saw the tall buildings up close?
Yes, John. I remember walking down a long street, and suddenly I saw a building that was so tall, I had to move my head back to see the top, and I whispered to myself, wow.
Let's help listeners say that with feeling. Repeat slowly. Wow, it's so tall.
Yes, and that's a true New York moment.
Another moment many people love is the first time they visit the water. When you walk near the river and you see the city from far away.
Yes, when you see Manhattan from the water, the buildings look like a giant wall of glass and light, and the wind feels soft, and the water moves slowly, and the city feels peaceful.
Let's practice. Repeat after me. I like the water.
Slowly, the view is beautiful.
Very good. Now, Helen, I think we should talk about something important. The feeling of New York at night. Not the lights, but the quiet moments.
Yes, John, because people think New York is loud all the time, but sometimes you walk down a small street and it's quiet. You hear your own steps, you feel the cool night air, you feel calm.
Let's help listeners say, it's quiet now.
And I feel calm.
Good. Helen, did you ever sit on a bench at night in New York?
Yes, John. One time, I sat on a bench near a small tree. Not a big park, just a small place. And people walked by, someone laughed, someone talked on the phone, a bicycle passed, and I felt like the city was breathing.
That's a beautiful picture, and simple English students understand it.
John, maybe now we can talk about the last day of a trip, because the last day feels different.
Yes, Helen. On the last day, you walk slower. You look at everything a little longer. You feel a little sad, but also grateful.
Let's help listeners say, I feel grateful.
And another, I will remember this.
Good. On the last day, you buy a small souvenir, maybe a magnet, maybe a postcard, maybe nothing, because the memories are enough.
Yes. And then you return to your hotel, you close your suitcase, and you look around the room one last time.
John, that moment is quiet, a little emotional, and very real.
Let's help listeners repeat. It's my last day.
And I had a good trip.
Now, the last part of the journey, the airport again, but this time you feel different.
Yes, you go through security, you wait, you sit near the window, and you look at the plane. Your body is tired, but your heart is full.
Let's practice something. I'm going home.
And I will come back.
Beautiful. And then you fly home, you close your eyes on the plane, and you think about all the little moments, the streets, the lights, the coffee, the people, and you smile.
John, I think this is the perfect moment to speak to our listeners directly.
Yes, Helen, let's do that.
Dear listener, you did something great today. You listened to English, slowly, calmly. You imagined New York. You learned new phrases. You practiced speaking. And you did it with us, with Helen and John.
We are very proud of you, and we want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, how do you feel today? Would you like to travel to New York? What places do you want to see? And what topics do you want us to talk about in the next episodes?
We read your comments, we listen to you, and we make this podcast for you.
If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe and like it so others can find it.
If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe and like it so others can find it. And keep practicing English every day.